Chinese channel the other night, and they start playing this song, Green-Eyed Lady, Ocean Lady. Came out in like 70, I think. And I'm like, man, that'd be a cool song to, do a cover of. But I haven't learned it. I just heard it that night. I came in the next day, picked up my acoustic, and the only part I could figure out... bass play that. So both guitar and bass are playing that. But there's another part that the bass plays, and I haven't figured it out. Destroy it and make a bunch of stupid sounds, and people out there that have actually learned the song, I don't know how or why you would, are like, that's not how it's done. I'll try to learn it a little better, but I never learn it how it's played. I listen to it and then I try to figure it out how I would play it. So there you go. That's why the last part's so easy to go for over the solo. There's a horrid keyboard or organ solo, which I hate, and another thing, and it just keeps going, that one part. I cramp up immediately now. So yes, I have a Nady wireless and I have a Line 6 wireless. And this, I'm just trying to see if it still works. So this is going down and around and back and in here and I'm, it works because it's working. I have the amp cranked, and as soon as I started playing, it dropped like beep. So I haven't figured it all out yet. I actually dug this out of the trash behind a music store. Totally works. So I'm like, what? Why would they throw this out? I'm figuring obviously it's not going to work, so I go buy batteries, I put it in, I'm like, well, it turns on, plug everything in. That drop thing it's supposed to, it's got to be, I don't know how to set it up because I dug it out of the trash. I didn't get, instructions, and I haven't really bothered to look it up because I haven't bothered to really do anything with it. Just now starting to use it just to see. Because just thinking about getting another wireless. If this is fine, then I don't need it, right? Right. you get used to them, they're pretty cool. I really don't know what to play. This is going to be short. It's a Saturday night. I'm supposed to be at my 40th class reunion, and I could give a flying crap. It starts in like, let me see. It probably has, it started an hour ago. Yeah, I just don't care. I don't care. Not that I don't care about any of you guys I went to school with. There's a couple of you, you know who you are. And then there's a lot of people that were there. Everybody knew me. Hey, Skews! Everybody called me Skews. Not Michael D. It's like, Skews! And then the more I got Motley Crue famous, because they didn't hit it big until after I graduated. I graduated in 83, and then later that year, Shout Out the Devil was released, and then they started gaining attention. Before that, I was handing out flyers like crazy and giving away free tickets to go see them at, wherever they were playing around here, and they were playing everywhere around here. Auditoriums, friggin' clubs, restaurants, and then they would, headline and sell out the Santa Monica Civic. And they'd only been together a year. I remember the first time they went and did the Civic, they had Accept opening for them. So Accept, who was apparently huge in Germany with the balls to the wall thing, they come over here and they got to open up for a club band who's selling out the Santa Monica Civic, where Zeppelin has played, and you name it. So, kind of crazy, huh? But yeah, Motley Crue was like and the main thing that they won't tell you, it wasn't their talent. It was partially their look that got them, that was a big help, their image. But the biggest help was Mick's brother-in-law. He was a millionaire. He dumped tons of money into this band. And I actually started talking to him, Alan Kaufman. And he's like, dude, I need help down there, because he lived up in Northern California. He goes, I need someone to go down there to, like, hand out flyers and hand out tickets and promote, do stuff. And I'm like, tell me what to do. And he would, like, send me boxes of 45s, stick to your guns, so to the town 45s, pictures, the promo packs to give to radio stations. So I had to go to radio stations and hand these, I don't know why the band wasn't doing it, but I guess they're too busy doing other things. Partying. So I did all that. I did a ton of footwork for that band. Only because I liked Mick Mars. I thought he was very cool, and he thought, wow, you're doing all that? That's very cool of you. Blah, blah, blah. But they let us in. They started letting us in. I think they started putting us on the list, so. And if they couldn't get us in for the show, they definitely get us backstage, and that was cool enough. So, because the tickets were not that expensive. Back then, it was nothing. It's like $5, $7, if it maybe. So that's enough. You know why I keep messing up? Because you probably see me looking this way or that way. Trying to see if anybody's coming home. Because there's... My pop goes out and he gets something to eat. And he goes down and sits at the mall or whatever he does. I don't know. Just to get out for a couple hours every day. I don't want to be blaring the guitar. I used to. It's like, hey man, I'm down here taking care of him. The least he can do is, put up with the noise. No, why? Why should he? So I make sure everything's cool, shut off. His channel is on. His drink is ready. I try to be really cool. He's 81. He needs help. I don't need to stay here and do this, but nobody else is going to do it. And I don't feel obligated. I want to do it. I want to help him. He's my dad. So that's why I keep looking, because I don't want him to... He does, get a little irritated with the... even this loud. This is not very loud right now, but to him it's blazing, which is amazing to me, because this guy took me to the drag races every single weekend when I was a kid. And if you've ever stood next to a top field dragster, that's nothing compared to, the loudest concert you've ever been to. Especially when they go, what? It's like being hit in the chest with, TNT. It's amazing. It's great. It's the next best thing to a wall of Marshall amps just blazing. Or whatever, 5150s. I still go for my JCM 800s modified. To me, that sound you can't beat. Or Plexi modified. But mine, which is the JCM 800, but it was the anniversary, so it was the first of the JCM 800s. The insides, the circuit board is a Plexi circuit. So it's all inside is the same as a Plexi. It just got a new front. They didn't start changing the circuitry till later when they were getting ready to do the 900s. So mine is like a Plexi, and then it's been modified, so it's basically the Eddie mod. And the only thing I do different that he did was he ran the Variac. So he ran everything on 10, supposedly, and then used the Variac as his volume, basically. Where I would just put a MXR micro amp in front, and that was enough to overdrive the already overdriven preamp tubes, and I'd get the same sound without having to get the damn Variac and possibly blow the damn thing up, especially if my roadie didn't know what the hell he was doing. So, but the whole Variac thing's funny. So Randy ran a Variac too when he started touring big time and he got the Marshalls and everything, and they were touring, and because you could tell that his Marshalls were white, and he got them, not the first ones he started using, but the first ones he started right after the album, and the album started going gold, or was selling big, and then Marshall said, "Oh, okay, we'll back you. What do you want?" "Well, I want 4 white Marshall cabinets." "Okay." And then he wanted the amps, the heads, but he wanted Marshall to do it. And as far as I know, Marshall tried, but he wasn't sure what the hell Eddie was actually doing. but there was people back there that did. And when he came out here, he had him done again. So yeah, whatever. But he ran a Variac. So with the Variac and the friggin' mod, and he's got the Distortion Plus, if he would have just taken that but if he would have taken the Distortion Plus out of the line, he wouldn't have gotten that tone. That was his tone. Because anybody that's got the MXR Distortion Plus knows that gives you this buzzsaw, horrifying tone, which I hate. But Randy worked with it and made it his. So if he would have taken that out of the lineup, he would have sounded like Eddie, basically. Well, his tone would have been more warm, brown sound instead of buzzsaw sound. But that's that. See you next week. I'm sure it seems short to me, but I'm sure I've babbled and said enough crap.